Hi, I'm Camilla and I'm a parenting coach, and I'm here today to talk to you about how to work from home when you also have children at home, which is a very difficult situation. So I'm here to share my top 3 tips for this. But first of all, before we begin, I'd really like it if you could like and subscribe, because then you're ensured that you'll get more videos like this every week. And also it just really helps, because when you like, the algorithms do their funky magic, and it really helps because then we're able to get the message out there to lots of other people as well. So the more people I can help, the better, especially during this time. So, okay, my top 3 tips for how to work at home. So this is a 3-pronged approach, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at 3 different things that you can do to help make it easier for you to work at home and to make it easier for your child to be schooled at home. So the first one is you empower your child, and the second one is setting up routines, and the third one is self-care. So these are super important and they go really well together. So let's do this. Okay, so the first one is I work very much within the empowerment paradigm. So I help empower parents and I help empower children, so that there's less power struggles at home. And so the model that I work with, the empowerment paradigm, is much more based on power from within rather than power over someone. So the power over a child is like the old paradigm. That's the old way. And we know that that only works short term. We know that that's not a long-term solution. So really, yes, you can sit on your child and force them to eat that broccoli or whatever it is, but really in the long run, is it going to work? Are they going to end up with eating issues? When they get older, you're not going to be able to sit on them anymore. So really we know that it might work short term, but it doesn't work long term. So this whole idea of being able to control someone else, it's an illusion. It's like, it's not real. The only thing we can control is ourselves. So the only thing that we actually have control over is in the world, with everything going on, is ourselves and how we react to situations. We can never control another person. We can never control an outcome. All we can do is put things in place and then hope that the outcome is good. But if you're working with the power from within, and if you're using these tools that I'll teach you, then actually the outcome is so much more likely to be positive anyway. So, okay, the way to empower your child. So if we think about our child has needs, just like everybody else does. We all have a need to feel like we belong and that we're important. We need to feel loved and seen and heard. And it's the same with our children. In fact, if anything, it's more so, because as adults, we get our needs met from many different avenues, but actually children, their needs to be heard and seen and understood and loved, really those are coming from their primary caregivers. So they're coming from their families, and they're also coming from school. And if they're not at school, we've got to work extra hard to fill those needs for them at home, which is why it makes it so challenging for us as parents, because we've got our own things we need to do as well for work. So it's like this crazy kind of balancing act, and we've all been there. And this is really to help those people who are trying to work from home, where you end up just shushing your child and brushing them aside, and you're getting really stressed because you can't get work done, and your child is also getting stressed because they're trying to work, and they have needs that they need to have met. So it's a difficult balance for everyone. So okay, so how to empower your child. So if you think of your child as having these needs that need addressing every single day, and we can choose to do that in a positive way, or they will take these things in a more negative way, because either way, it's like they have this power cup and attention cup, and they both need, they need it. It's not right, it's not wrong, it just is. It's in their DNA. They need to have these 2 cups filled every single day. So they need to have a certain feeling of a certain amount of power over their environment, over their lives. So the best way to give them that, rather than it turning into a power struggle later on, like them trying to take control over something, if you give it to them in a positive way, like if you allow them to make certain simple decisions, it really helps them to feel like they have an element of control over their life. So even just things as simple as, would you like the blue cup or the red cup? Would you like to do your homework first, or do you want to read from this book first? Do you want to have your teeth brushed first, or would you like to put on your pajamas first? So just simple things. Give them 2 or 3 choices. You don't want to overwhelm them with anything more than that. And then just really allow them as many opportunities during the day that they can actually have an influence and have a say in what's going on. Because if you think about it, the rest of the time, children are constantly being told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, what not to do. So they have very little control. So allowing them some control, give them a degree of the control in a way that is manageable, they're less likely to try to take it back in other, moments when it's not convenient. And then the other one is the attention cup. So if you think about, they're going to need attention. They need to feel seen and heard, and they need to feel that you're spending time with them. So, if you're in the middle of a meeting and you don't want to be interrupted, that is not the time that you want little Billy running in, like talking to you about, whatever he's seen on TV or, some game that he wants to play. So really, it's about channeling it into the times when it is convenient for you. So, research shows that actually as little as 10 minutes of concentrated one-to-one time a day is enough to fill this need. I mean, ideally, if you've got more time than that, if you've got half an hour to give them, if you've got 10 minutes here and then 10 minutes later in the day, fantastic. But this 10 minutes needs to be purely about that child. It's so one-to-one. I like to call it golden time. And what it is if you give them 10 minutes where they decide the agenda, they decide what you're doing, how you're doing it, and you're giving them your undivided attention. This is just one-to-one, one parent, one child. If you've got several children, you can do 10 minutes with each of them. 10 minutes is short enough that it actually has a huge impact on the rest of the day, but it's also small enough that it is something you can squeeze in and manage. And sometimes if it's hard to find time during the day to do it, maybe tie it in with something that you have to do anyway, like bedtime routines, when you do reading, if you have some sort of bedtime routine where you read, you brush your teeth, you get dressed like in your pajamas, just kind of try to weave it into routines that are already there if that makes it easier. But really, ideally, 10 minutes a day, ideally at the same time every day, but whatever works for you, these are different times. And then don't take any phone calls, don't take any messages, don't get distracted by anything, just play with them for 10 minutes. And that really, really feeds that attention need. And then they won't be trying to come in and get the attention later on at a time that's inconvenient. Also, another way to empower your child is we're so focused on what they shouldn't be doing. We're constantly telling them things like, don't run in the house and stop pulling your sister's hair or stop shouting, when actually we don't focus on telling them what it is that we would like them to be doing. So there's something about training them in what it is that we expect from them while we're working from home so that it makes it easier for all of us. So take the time at a time when you're not in the middle of a work day, not in the middle of meetings, to actually kind of train them in how would you like this to unfold. So if you're in the middle of taking a work phone call or in an online meeting, like a virtual meeting, and they need you for something, maybe rather than them coming in going, mommy, 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 daddy, daddy, I need this, I need that, I need my pencil sharpened, I need a drink, then address with them, how would you like them to approach you? Maybe they come in and just put a hand gently on your arm, and then you turn around and maybe you have a cue, some sort of sign that you do, maybe you make eye contact so they know that you've seen them, that they need them, or that they need you rather, and make eye contact and maybe give them a 1 minute, I will be there as soon as I can. And then honor that, if you're able to break away from that phone call to quickly address what it is, great. If you need to just finish the phone call, great, that's cool too. Just prepare them for how you would like it to work for you. If it's something like they've got to wait 10 minutes till the end of the call and you've told them this in advance and you've practiced, because I think a good way to do this is actually to role play it so that they're totally clear in their minds on what they need to be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. So if you're still on the phone call and they need to wait, maybe have a little notepad next to where you're working so they can do a little drawing of what it is they want to tell you, or write down a couple of keywords if they're able to do that. So it's just something about that way they remember what it is, and it makes it less frustrating for them to wait. It also makes it better for you because they're not interrupting you. You know that they need you. They know that you've heard them. Everybody's happy. So that's a really good one to use. Also, talk to them about what constitutes a genuine need for interrupting. If it's because, hey, I've finished reading page 3, then actually that can wait. That's not super important. Whereas if it's something like the house is on fire, someone's broken a leg, like serious things that you want to know about right away. You don't want them coming in and like gently putting a hand on your arm and like waiting for you peacefully. Like, no, you want to know like right now so that you can do something about it. So talk to them about the varying differing degrees of need for interrupting and need for help and assistance. Because that's really important for them to know as well, that actually some things override the system. If the house is on fire, you want to know about it right away. But then also take time to prepare. So this is part of empowering your child as well, and empowering yourself and making things easier for yourself. Take time to prepare for everything. If you know that they've got maths homework to do, or they've got English or whatever, lay out their stuff in the morning. Get them to do this. Empower them to be taking responsibility for these things. We do so many things for our children just because it's habit. They're at home. It might be faster or easier if we do it for them. But actually, when they're at school, they're doing these things for themselves. You know, they're able to do so much more than I think we allow them to do at home, just because we've got into those habits, because we love them and we want to help them. And, you know, it is what it is. It's just a pattern. So try to break out of this pattern now, because yes, this is a difficult time and we're working from home. But if you plant the seeds now, then they actually will grow long beyond this. So if you're helping them to be self-sufficient and able to do things for themselves, that's going to be great for later on, because that's going to save you time. It's going to get the monkeys off your back. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be helpful for everyone in like a whole different way. So if you get them to lay their stuff out in the morning, so if they've got maths, they know they need the ruler, their calculator, whatever it might be, get everything ready, get them prepared. Also, you get some things prepared. This is a two-way thing. It's a two-way street. So think about, you know, if you don't want them interrupting you for like snacks and drinks and things like that, get everything ready. What would you like them to have? What's appropriate? If you want them to have healthy things, slice some carrots, slice some cucumbers, maybe get some apple slices ready. Put them in a fridge at a low height that they can reach them. If you want them drinking milk or juice or water, put it in the fridge door so that it's easy for them to reach. Normally, you know, you might have things high up in the cupboards, you know, the plates, the glasses. Maybe design a way that's child-free, and this doesn't take a lot of work. You know, it just means emptying out one cabinet in the kitchen and maybe reshuffling things so that they've got their cups or their plates, or, you know, it might be plastic so that they don't break. It depends on the age of the child. Just go age appropriate, you know. A lot of this is very simple to implement, but it makes a huge difference. So have everything at a height that's easy for them to get, so they can get in, or show them where there's a step stool or whatever you feel is safe, you know, whatever you feel is appropriate for their age. Get everything ready, because then they can have these healthy snacks along the way. They don't need to interrupt you, you know. And then also coming back to this whole thing about attention and power and their needs. So if you think about it, normally at work, you might be eating at your desk. You might just grab a quick bite to eat while you're still working. That's not going to work here. That's not going to work at home. So take the times, take the opportunities of when you can actually give them the attention that they're craving and that they need, so that if you meet those needs now, they're not going to be interrupting you in that meeting. You know, maybe give them their 10 minutes of golden time just before that super crucial, important online meeting. But if you're able to do things like eat together, just think about how much you're eating, you're talking. You could be talking to them about what they've been doing for their schoolwork, or something totally different, just relaxing, having some fun, having some downtime. Even if it's something like you've got half an hour for your lunch, maybe use 15 minutes to eat, and maybe 15 minutes afterwards to sit and snuggle on the sofa or put on some cartoons or something. You could make it quite fun with, you could maybe make lunch packs for all of you, so that it's almost like, hey, we're in school together, or we're at work together, we're getting out our lunch packs, we've got our lunch break now, we're going to sit here, it's cozy, we're all in the same boat. Maybe get them involved in making them, again, empower them. Maybe they want to be making their own lunch pack. Maybe they want to choose something that's in the lunch pack. Maybe you make it fun and they make your lunch pack and you make theirs, and then it'll be interesting to see what it is that they've made for you, and hopefully it'll be something that's edible. But actually that could be a fun way to do this. Other ways to make the day fun is you could maybe spread a blanket out on the floor and have a picnic. Or you could make a den under the table, put a blanket over the table, or some cushions from the sofa or something. Make it like really snuggly and different. Because then also, when we go back to work, we can hand on heart say we've done something with them and we've had a good time with them, and we feel less guilty for the times when we've shushed them and pushed them away because we're trying to get work done. And hopefully with these tools, you won't need to be shushing them and pushing them away, because hopefully with these tools implemented where you actually are practicing these things with them and role playing the expectations in advance, they're more likely to be able to like carry this out when you are working. So that is how you empower your child. That is step one. Step two, routines. Now this is also so important. We're just going to fly through the rest of this because the last two steps are very simple, but they're hugely important. So routines. We know that routines help us to feel like we know what's coming, it's predictable, it feels safe. Children are used to routines from school. They're used to having things like, we know maths is on Wednesdays, we have physical activity and exercise on Tuesdays, or whatever it might be. You know, on Fridays we have English, on Mondays we have French. Whatever it is, they know what's coming, they know when their break times are, they know when they're, when they get to eat. So there's something about setting up a structure. It also helps us feel secure and feel like we have some control, because right now things are very difficult and strange. Like there's an element of feeling helpless and out of control and not knowing what's going to happen and what is happening out there. All we can do is control how we feel in here and the actions we take in here. So if we put some things in place, it helps us to feel better as well. So it's good for both the adult and the child. So win-win, you know? So think about what your routines need to be. And they need to incorporate an element of self-care as well. But think about, what do you need for the day to function for everyone? You know, you need breakfast, you need to get things ready for school, you need to get things ready for work, you need to shower, you need to you know, have a list of how do you want your routine to look. Maybe think about, what do you need, not just to get by, but actually to thrive, because we don't know how long this is going to be going on for. We might be in this for the long haul. I think it's really important to think about not just burning the candle at both ends and, you know, just trying to push through this, because we don't know. It might be a while that we're going to be in this. We might as well set up a good pattern right from the start, nip it in the bud, set up the ways we want it to be right from the beginning. They know the expectations we have of them. We know what we can do. We have a routine. Everything's clear. And then most important of all, I should have almost started with this one. That's how important it is. Self-care. Self-care is critical right now. Like, we are so used to, as parents, putting ourselves last on the list. You know, there's like children and work and family and everybody else first and blah, 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 blah. And then we're like somewhere at the bottom. But actually, our needs need to be met right now. So if you think about on an airplane, when the oxygen masks come down, whose are you supposed to put on first? Your own or the child's? You know, you're supposed to put your own one on first and then the child's. And that's the same thing in this situation. You know, it's so counterintuitive, because we feel like we're supposed to be putting the children first, but actually by putting ourselves first in this situation, we're going to be helping to put the children's need first. It's actually, it's beneficial for everyone. So just doing the 1 minute. See, we practiced this at home as well. So really, self-care, hugely important right now. What do you need to thrive? Like, what do you need to be able to get through this? So we're stressed. Our fuses are short. There's things going on that are out of our control. We need to know that we cannot burn the candle at both ends and still come out okay on the other side of this. We need to actually be thinking about our own self-care, our own sanity, our own health, our own well-being. So what does that look like for you? You are the expert in you. You know yourself best. Is it a bubble bath at the end of a long day? Is it getting up earlier than usual so that you've got time alone just to have like peace and quiet to drink that cup of coffee? Or is it like meditating for 15 minutes in the morning before your day begins? Like, what is it for you? You need to put this in. So routines and self-care, I think it's super important. Just thinking about what you need as well. We need to hydrate. Okay, water, super important. So we need to factor in hydration. We need to get some sort of movement for our body every day. Something about keeping ourselves sane. Is it calling a friend when you're stressed? Like, what is that for you? But if we need to be moving our body every day, that might be a workout, or that might be going out for a walk if that's possible where you are. I don't know how limited self-isolation is and things like that for you. If you're not able to go outside, can you run around a table? Can you do a home workout together as a family? That's another great way to burn off some of that energy that the kids have. They've got excess energy because they're cooped up in this house, all of us together, So what can you do together to make it fun? And what can you do on your own because it's self-care and you need some alone time? So important things. And I mean, what we've done here at home as well, just to throw in something else, is every half hour a timer goes off and rings. And then we do some squats and some lunges, just so we've got like constant movement so that we're not just sitting there studying, working, just to break it up and make it a bit fun. And my son likes to do push-ups as well. And that doesn't work for me, but he loves that. So, whatever works for you. Think about what is going to work for you, what is going to work for your child, and then make a routine and put things in place that are going to be really, really good for you. So thank you so much. That is all I've got for you today. Please let me know how you get on. If you implement these things, it's really going to help. I really promise you. Like if you do this correctly, and you take the time to prepare them and train, so that they feel, ready for this, it will really, really make a difference. I promise. So, let me know in the comments how you get on. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can get more awesome videos like this where I'm sharing practical tips to help parents in everyday, situations. And please feel free, share this with anyone else that you think can benefit, anyone else who's going a bit crazy, trying to work from home with children around. Okay, I hope you have a great day, whatever you're up to. Bye.